Pierre Gervois, who is an amazing poet and artist, is here with us, and he's got to go about in a little bit. So I want to make sure we get to Pierre first. Hey, Pierre, how you doing?
Thank you so much for your kind words, Tim.
Yeah, it's just wonderful. Another poet that we met at NFT NYC at that very interesting Food Maskew reading event. But how did you take your art into NFTs? Why did you do that, and what are you doing with it? Can you give an overview, and then we'll look at a few of the pieces that you sent.
I went to NFT out of despair. So I have been doing physical art for 33 years, from 1988 to 2021. And I didn't sold a single piece of my work for 33 years. And I was therefore slightly depressed about myself and the lack of interest of my work. In May 2021, for the first time, I minted one of my pieces that was composed on my computer on the blockchain. And after 1 hour, a collector bought my work. And then my life changed in the second half of 2021. So it was not because I love science or I love technology or I know I'm a computer engineer. It was out of despair, out of economic necessity. So I love the blockchain, not because I understand deeply this technology, which I know nothing about. It is just because it allows me to show my work, to share it with friend and collector, and to make a little bit of money. So that is the reason.
Yeah, and they're really, I mean, they're so the piece that we published, which people got to see in the issue, but as a still, I'll put up. This is Income 6, and I'll put up so people can actually see on the screen what it actually looks like in the NFT. So can you explain what you were doing here and how this piece in this series came to be?
So my work is exploring class issues and relation of power in our society. I come from a middle-class family, and the dream of my parents was to raise to the upper middle class. So I was extremely conscious of the importance to appear more important than you are, to have a good job with a good social status, so you can show to everybody that you made it. So I was hyper aware of the class issues. And I didn't make it to the upper class because I'm still broke. And so I am investigating the social trajectory between the middle class and the upper middle class. I don't go outside these boundaries. I don't know what it is to be poor because I've never been. So I'm not going to talk about this particular socioeconomic status. I don't know what it is to be rich, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to explore the trajectory between the middle class and the upper middle class. And in particular, I always wondered, can we really be friends with people who make more money than us? Is that possible? Seriously, if you meet a friend and you're taking the subway and the friend has a big BMW car, well, can you really be friends with him or her? If your friend has a big Louis Vuitton bag and you just had a supermarket plastic bag, maybe you're going to hate him or her. You'll be jealous, be consumed by jealousy. So I was asking this question, and I wanted to explore different scenarios with different income brackets and income differences between people, and see how it would affect the interpersonal relations of people in a very analytic way, in a very neutral way, how a machine would observe humanity. So that's a very analytical word. And there are 6 series based on 6 different income situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting, and you can feel that voice, which is where the poetry comes in. It is that analytical detached voice in this piece and the other ones in the series that make it really work. And then combined with the visual, which is, for those just listening, because this is an audio podcast too, of course, it's a GIF, so it's a moving piece of text with a sort of glitch type slide down, like an old television set that's a little out of whack. And so it's sort of moving all the time.
The idea is to fragment the text the same way I have a fragmented identity. I belong somewhere between the middle class and the upper middle class, but I don't really know well any of this class. So my identity as a human being is completely fragmented. And I wanted to show this in a visual manner. And to continue about what Justine was saying, what you were saying, the beauty and the interest of NFTs for poetry, that we can bring additional dimensions. If you want to represent that on a book, it's going to be hard because it's static. Now you can play on words, you can add some glitch, some destruction effect to the word using the video techniques and the NFT. So we're going to be able to explore, to push forward the boundaries of poetry using NFT. And that's one of the great benefits of this technology.
Do you have the piece in front of you so you can read it?
Yes, I don't have it. So I'm just going to find it. Yes, so I just have it. So that is income 6. I would have liked to have friends with a not too different income, plus or minus 20%. The same equally socially valued type of job, the same car category, the same moderately high professional expectations, the same upper middle class type of home in the same relatively affluent neighborhood. So we can have politically correct conversations populated with random smiles.
Yeah, I just love the way that piece, works together on so many levels, and then the humor of it too is just delightful. So I love that voice and where it goes, and that was my favorite one in the series. But it's an excellent series. And the thing about NFTs is that, like we were saying earlier, you can follow the link or the QR code in the issue, and go to Pierre's object page and look through his profile at all these pieces right now. You don't have to collect them to enjoy them. That's sort of the brilliance and the beauty of NFTs. Or you can check it, of course, in the current issue of Rattle.
I'm super proud of being in this issue. That was one of the proudest moments in my life. So thank you, the Rattle, for this publication.
Yeah, really my pleasure. And so I know you have to go in a little bit. Do you want to share another poem too, so we can see what other type things you're doing and how it can relate to this?
Sure. So let me open it. So I would like to share with you a poem that I wrote in 2021. So I created a series of 9 poems called The Inner Life of CryptoPunks. So for those who are not super familiar with crypto, the CryptoPunks, it's a series of 10,000 pixelized characters that were very famous, that are really part of the history of visual arts right now. And I wanted to explore what was the personal life of these imaginary pixelized characters, because of course we don't know, because they're imaginary characters. So I picked a few of them, and I tried to imagine what their life could be. So is it possible to share the screen, Tim, or not?
Can I have CryptoPunk 30, because you sent these, if that's easier?
Yes, I sent 3. So is it possible that you put one on the screen?
Yeah, I have Crypto 30, but we have the other one too. I have all the ones you sent, yeah. So people at home are looking at it. But if you want to see, I can allow you to share screen too. Oops, not share screen. Yeah, so you can share screen now if you want to do it that way.
Okay, so So can everybody see the screen?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the piece called CryptoPunk 2, which is the number of the CryptoPunk. My name is Julia. I was born in Moscow, Russia, when my mom served as a cultural attaché at the US Embassy. We moved back to Pikeville, Kentucky, after she was fired from diplomatic service for stealing caviar boxes from the ambassador's office. I remember the taste of caviar from these blue, round tin boxes. She opened a hair salon in Pikeville and never looked back on her life as a civil servant. I have always felt deeply humiliated that she got busted. I sell drugs to survive and reward myself with a caviar box from time to time. I think I'm a good person and I need love. So I was always exploring the themes of social humiliation, social class, on how persons who are placed in different social setting can behave, can see their parents getting socially humiliated, and how it's going to impact them. So that's a theme that is in most of my work. So I don't. Okay, stop sharing.
Yeah, well, that was great. Yeah, it's really fascinating to see what you're doing. Thanks again for joining us. I know you have to go, but if you can come back or stay, let her stick around. But let's move on to let's go to George.
Thank you so much, folks. I'm going to have to go in a few minutes, and I really appreciate it to be with you.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you so much.
it's so cool to see your work. It's one of the most, I think, the best blends of things going on that anyone has. So it's really neat to see and great to talk to you about it.